Hi guys and welcome back to City Skylines. Today we are going to work on the city a bit more, and as you can see while I was doing this, of course I was playing a game, don't judge me on that. I was just trying to look at the downtown, which was pretty nice, and then I still had this area next to the riverbank and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to add some houses to that. Because I have nothing else to add to that, really. And as you can tell by my demand bar, people did not want houses, people want commercial areas, and people want industries. But Silvarret doesn't care. He only cares about the way that his city looks. I suppose that's a good way to put it, though that's really not the case per se in this sense. I do of course also want my city to function well, and there is nothing I can't stand more than damn traffic piling up in my streets, and that's seriously something I want to avoid. But the looks of the city is so much more important to me than building the most efficient city ever on a perfect grid and with beautiful, beautiful public transport. There are so many people already doing that and actually failing at it when they're trying to make cities like that, and that's kind of funny, I think. But this city is all about organic growth, so yeah, I kind of want to make this city look realistic, look cool, but probably a bit better than in real life, because real life cities don't have this many parks. Real life cities also don't have an employment rate of 100% with an education level of university or higher for most of the people in the city, but that doesn't matter. I suppose this is also kind of a utopia in some ways, except for the weird industries and other somewhat unrealistic things at the moment, which will be fixed in the future, I'll promise that. But yeah, I do like my cities in an organic growth, so that's something to know about me. That is something that I am aiming to do in the future. And also, organic growth means European organic growth, and that means, well, curvy roads and stuff like that. I can already hear you say, but the suburbs also have curvy roads, Silvarret. You do not know anything about the American life. I do. I do care about Americans, but, you know, I want to have those European curvy roads. You could say I love my roads like I love... No, I'm not even going to say that. But I'm also going to have these slightly curvy and crooked roads in the downtown areas and in the industrial areas and everywhere, and the overall growth of the city is going to be like that, because even though suburban areas in America do have that very often, there are also commonly cities in America commonly have straight borders and stuff like that, which is actually something you sometimes see in the city layouts. And even though the suburbs have very curvy roads, the cities themselves obviously don't really most of the times, so the city does have that, so there is a big difference. Now, another thing that I did want is not just an organic road pattern, but also an organic growth pattern. Oh, there is a extreme emphasis on the pronunciation there, because it is growth, and I kind of want this city to be a bit round like that. And in the future, if I get the land, that is, I also want to have some cities around this, maybe some small cluster cities, actually turn this into a kind of group of multiple cities, of course still having that big one city in the middle, but there is no such thing as a huge standalone city with a downtown and many highways around it and all that, and not having any cities next to that. You're obviously gonna want to have some small towns and other things around this, so definitely going to work on this. Oh, and this is when I add the highway next to The Hague, I think this is still called. No, wait, The Hague was already gone. But people were already mad because I had that one lane highway, but now it's a huge highway. It's just a full-grown highway, and people are very mad in Dallas and Indianapolis right now, and their land values are dropping very quickly. But I don't care. I want all this transport to be possible. And you see all those colored trucks going to the city center? That was definitely not what was supposed to happen. I don't know where these trucks are exactly coming from, because they seem to be coming from many industrial areas throughout the city, but I do want to keep them out of the city. So at some point I was like, no, this is not going to happen. So actually, rather than adding highways, sometimes it works to remove highways, so that people are forced to just do their stuff on other highways, because this highway going into the, well, center of the city, if you may call it that, is supposed to be used by people who live in the city and want to move in the city, and not stupid trucks who think that the city is their realm. The industrial zone is their realm, and the highway around that is their realm, but not the city itself. And you definitely want to keep the industrial traffic and the residential and commercial traffic very divided like that. You definitely don't want to have them in one spot. So, and what I meant by deleting highways is very simply deleting off-ramps. If you don't want your people to get into the city or on the highway or off the highway at a certain spot, you just delete the off-ramp. I suppose, I figured that would work, and I was afraid that wouldn't work and that they would turn around on their nearest off-ramp, but that didn't actually work. That didn't actually happen, I mean. So, in the end, the trucks are now using different highways and not causing too many problems in the center of the city, so that's fine and dandy. Of course, they're still kind of causing problems in the industrial areas, but yeah, whatever, those are the industrial areas, so nobody really cares about that. And as you can see, work continues on the areas around the city, because there is demand for homes, and I want to have a bigger population, because I want to get all the goals and achievements and the Steam levels, so definitely wanted to work on that. Now, upcoming here is what I like to call the Turtle, which is the most beautiful residential area you have ever seen and witnessed in a city ever. It is literally designed after a turtle. I'm very much afraid that this is going to ruin my reputation of Silvarret, who actually does the curvy European roads, because I have never actually seen a turtle road pattern in my entire life. Not really sure what that was actually supposed to do, and it wasn't actually planned either. I just kind of looped around it because, you know, I was restricted by the highways around that area, and then I went back and I divided the area in more roads so that I would have more grids and more building space, and then it turned out to look like a turtle. That just came out of nowhere. It must have been my unconscious doing that. And this area is going to be the commercial area, because the great moment has arrived. I have deleted the parks in my city, and as you can see, there is a sudden spike in commercial again, so I placed that over there. And I am actually not really sure what that road pattern is supposed to be like. It's kind of like a woven kind of thing. Not really sure, but I was like, yeah, I have so many road patterns in my city that are so curvy and round and do all of these crazy things. You just need to have some normal roads. You just need to have some decency sometimes. So I built some normal roads because this is also a commercial area after all. And then I did something stupid. Then I did what nobody should ever do, and I should know this, but I still did it because I was stupid at the time. And this goes for any city building game, so I have no idea why I did that. But if you have demand for something, don't go crazy and build an entire metropolis out of just that one zone which you have demand for, because that is not going to work. If you have a lot of commercial demand, just slowly, gradually build it up, place a couple of things, and then just let it rest and let people do their things and see if there is still demand, because otherwise you're gonna have to have either empty lots, or you're going to have companies that can't sell their goods, and then they're gonna be destroyed, and you're gonna end up with empty lots too. So that is the inevitable death of a zone which does not have demand because you overplaced it. So don't ever do that. This is advice from Silvarret. Also advice from Silvarret. What you can see me doing there is saying, oh well, I have that one little traffic intersection over there which is causing some terrible congestion. I will just remove part of it and move the other part of it to a different part of that road. And that was stupid and definitely not necessary, because if there's one thing to learn, it is that you don't fix traffic problems by just saying, well, I'm just going to add a small little road over here, or, yeah, I'm just gonna add extra lanes to this road. That definitely does not work. You're gonna have to either change the whole road layout of the area, or you're gonna have to provide more public services like buses and metro system or a train, stuff like that, or you're gonna have to do something even bigger in the grand scale of things. You're gonna have to change where people live and stuff like that, but that goes too far just for one big area, just for one small area where there's congestion. Even I, at some point, I'm sometimes just wondering, like, why would I even bother? Seriously, why would I even bother with congestion? It's not really causing any problems that bad. I mean, it looks ugly, but then again, is it really bad for my city? Yes, kind of. It is kind of bad especially in real life, and I'm pretty sure this should be calculated in City Skylines as well. Now, this little neat thing in the highway is where you add another section of the highway where it's hard to explain, but you basically duplicate part of the highway so that people from another highway can get in over there and then later on get on that other highway, so they don't have to get from one highway to another in one go, but there's like this kind of highway in between that means that it doesn't cause all those problems with traffic jams and stuff like that, but people can just slowly but surely go on the highway that everybody wants to be. And I suppose that does kind of work. It's not really the best looking thing, but sometimes if one part of a highway, if one off or on ramp is very commonly used, it doesn't just fix it by making that on or off ramp highway and actually adding a couple of lanes, because that means if it's that commonly used, it's also going to block the traffic that wants to just go on the other highway that it's trying to join. So you're gonna have to add that separate kind of thing, and that kind of does work, but that didn't really solve the problem, at least from where it was coming, because as it turned out, because I figured when I was making these industrial things that I was very smart by not adding a connection between the two industrial zones right away, because that would mean more traffic lights actually, because I don't have any at the moment. That would mean more intersections and more traffic jams and stuff like that. But instead, if trucks had to go from one industrial area to another, they had to go on the highway and drive around for a bit, then go to the nearest interchange and get on another highway and drive around on that for a bit and get on another interchange to loop all the way back to the other industrial area, and that was a terrible idea. So stuff like that you can fix by just adding one small ramp. So if you can, do that, because sometimes problems are just so obvious, you just don't see them, and they start coming up with these stupid solutions that aren't really solutions, but you're only making matters worse. And this was kind of a example of that, but I am glad at least that I fixed it in this video and that I noticed it myself, because otherwise, you know, you're gonna have that same problem where it turns out, oh no, Silvarret, you did this wrong. And I know you guys are trying to help me, but then again, it was recorded earlier on, and right now, this city is a complete clusterfuck when it comes to the highways. But yeah, am I going to say it? No, I'm not going to say it today. This is it. I have nothing else to say, and I have nothing else to show, so I'm going to see you all on the next episode. Thank you for watching.